A new series actually in my Let's Plays. This one called The Outer Edge. My character's name, aqaraza, is the subtitle for these. And The Outer Edge refers to a term in the lore. It's actually in the Gek knowledge stones for the outer rim of the Euclid galaxy. The Outer Edge is going to focus on just starting out and ramping up the speed as quickly as we can, as efficiently as we can, in a number of different worlds. And we'll do that by saving. What I've done is save my most advanced system, my progress, and then deleted the master file and restarted, which starts you in a completely new character and universe. So we're going to start out at base 0, and the first thing we're going to look for is whether or not this system has been mangled by things that will pull you out of the game. What we want to do is cultivate an outer edge where the first experience people are going to have is one that will let them get acclimated to the game without running into animals named Poop Bouncer or planets named Taylor Swift. And we may do that by some slight renaming based on the lore and things that occur to us as we go. We may do that by accepting the Atlas given names. But we're just going to take a look and see what this world is, what situation this world is in. Now the first thing we need to determine is whether or not this world and its environment is out to kill us. How quickly the life support is depleting, what the atmosphere is like, how aggressive the animals are. Aggression of the animals is a really big factor. I don't know whether or not starting worlds frequently have passive animals, aggressive animals. I think we'll find out pretty quickly. But once it starts, if we've seen a cave, the first thing we're going to do is get ourselves into the cave and evaluate the situation. Or actually, we might just get in the ship. I think we'll do that. Pretty much as a matter of course. So let's take a look. And this is one that we have discovered. Harsh winds, sentinels are typical. Flora is generous. And what did it say? It said, let's take a look at the information for this system. Is it going to let us pursue options? Yes. Okay. So, this is a new system discovered by us, and that's good news. It's not named something that is going to yank us out of the game. And flora generous, fauna occasional. So supposedly not a ton of animals, but a lot of plants. Harsh wind shouldn't give us a hard time as long as the temperature isn't out to kill us. Okay. First thing first, let's decide whether we want to rename or simply accept the name of this system. Byzantingat Giris. And the planet itself, Stiamiatigor. That's a little bit cumbersome. Stiamagor could be a shortening of it. Byzantingat. Tell you what, let's get rid of that N and name it based on that. Byzantingat Giris. So rename and upload. Byzantingat-Giris. And I'm not sure whether that is precisely... Yep, that is correct. So let's accept that. Byzantingat Giris. Stiamiatigor. That's tricky. Stiamigor. Stiamigor. S-T-I-A-M-I-G-O-R. Let's try that. What we're trying to do here is find something that won't baffle the tongue, but that still kind of has resonance with the original name. Stiamigor. That should be doable. Let's keep it. Okay, there we are. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna try it out. Now there are a couple tricks we're gonna learn along the way. And of course, this is for people who haven't played No Man's Sky in terms of them being tricks. If you have, you probably know them. If you haven't, they may come in handy. And one is to go ahead and choose what's called the Atlas Path. That will open up story possibilities, and even though in the long run they're not vital to progressing, in fact they progress to similar places, it's still good to open up those doors. So we're going to go ahead and accept Atlas Path. And I'll read this silently, not aloud, and then hit the option. Okay, we're going to follow the Atlas Path. We're good to go there. We're going to see what our pod has for us. We're going to go ahead and accept things pretty quickly as I play. I'm assuming most people seeing this won't actually be newcomers. Just people interested in the lore and the game. Okay. Well, so far we haven't had any temperature indicators go off. We haven't seen any animals whatsoever. Scanner's damaged. We need carbon. Okay. We get carbon from plants. So, let's go ahead and zap a couple. Probably this is... Oh, let's try it out here. Now what I've found is that generally, if you move swiftly away from whatever place you did the damage, the sentinels, at least in the early sections, will leave you alone. Although they'll often check things out. Let's check out our inventory, looking for our scanner. Carbon, we need a little bit more, and actually let's check and see what we need for our visor. We need iron. We get iron from rocks, but I'm not going to mess with those. Well, don't have much space, so I'm only going to mess with what we need. We will definitely need plutonium, so I will go ahead and grab some. And here's my general method for that. Hit and run, go quickly, and run for it. Get out of the way, get to somewhere a little distance away where if a sentinel checks it out, they're not really going to put two and two together that it was you. These sentinels so far aren't really bothering us too much. Now, I see in the distance, yes, my visor is damaged, and we're going to need iron to deal with that. Okay, he is checking out our handiwork. So we're going to actually make our way, it looks like over here. It is not a cave, it is only slight depression in the ground, and that's okay. Let's take a look and see if our scanner is ready to go. It is, and we'll repair. Mining beam, we will need plutonium, I'm sorry. We do have it. Carbon, though, is more easily found, so we're going to use that up first. We'll need iron. Okay. To get iron, we're going to have to hope Sentinel isn't going to come after us in our vulnerable state. This should give us quite a supply. If we can get it before Sentinel's done. That's a big if, actually. Usually they notice when we're active, like when we're shooting. I'm pretty surprised there isn't one here now. I didn't think they were only triggered when the thing is destroyed. But he's not here yet. And it did say sentinel activity was standard and not docile. Oh, okay. Now I think I saw the shadow of an animal. So, we're going to get ourselves up and move. Definitely birds. If they were predatory birds, they would have attacked us by now. Aha! We do see a creature, and unfortunately, we do not have yet a visor, but I think we are about to. Let's take a look and see. Iron, we have it. Let's repair. So now, the big question is this creature predatory? Okay. Timid. Great. That's what we want. Super. And that may well be simply the case with starting worlds. I really am not sure. Okay. Maybe similar, maybe different. It's different. Timid as well. That's good. At this stage, we want things to leave us alone. Let's take a look and see what we've got. We need more plutonium. Scan around, see if we can find some. I actually saw some a few minutes ago, seconds ago. There we go. Often what I'll try to do is just shoot through the plutonium, run back to another spot. So that even if they're coming, they're just going to see the aftermath. We don't have to worry about that. We do have to worry about this, and it'd be better to have carbon to work with, so let's get over here and nab some carbon. We're also looking for a cave. So far this world seems a little, wow, goodness, lots of animal activity. So far this world seems lacking in caves. Let's see if this is the same dude, same type of creature. Yep, good. Alright. They're almost like coyote calls. And you can use this a little better. Alright, I think the next thing we're going to need to do is look at the ship. Here's the deal. Iridium can be tricky. Carite sheet and zinc we get from flowers. Launch thruster carite sheet. So we're going to need several of those. Let's take a look. Carite sheet is made of iron. We're going to need more than that though. Okay. It really would be helpful to have a cave. Now, the sun is going down, so we're going to see pretty quickly whether or not the weather is out to get us. Any isotope will work for life support, so we want to use anything but thorium if we can help it. Let's see if we can get a large, let's try to get some carbon. Really like to find a cave. There's some zinc. Great. I do not see many caves here at all. So, potentially very little cover. Hopefully the nights are mild. Aha, ship. Nice to see other ships about. Okay, we need carite sheets. Let's take a look one more time at what that involves. There we go. Iron. Alright. Tell you what. We'll build one. What I don't know is how much iron I've got. I've only got a little. I wish I had a cave. Tell you what, without sentinels giving us too hard a time, as long as we're in sight of our launch site, let's go ahead and grab some chunks of iron as best as we can. One easy way to grab iron is going to be from water to underwater, because the sentinels can't go there so easily. This thing looks huge. I'm really doubtful that we can do this before the sentinels come for us, but if we do, it'll probably keep us stocked in iron for a long time. Another ship. There must be a lane nearby, which is good. We're going to go for the mother load here. That should certainly keep us stocked for a little bit. Let's try to do something similar with carbon without getting too far away. Aha! They are definitely checking us out, so we're going to put some distance between ourselves and our efforts. I found that if you take care of your business with a bit of a distance away from the come on now, the sentinels, many times they won't. By the time the first thing they're going to do is check out the site and the damage. Second thing they're going to do is come after you. So if you can put some distance between, that is good. Now, I don't know, did we? Yeah, we did choose the Atlas path. That's good. All right. We don't have any weather problems. It's definitely night. Got a bunch of iron, got a bunch of carbon. Let's deal with our life support using carbon. Cheapest of our materials. Once we can get into orbit, thamium is going to become the cheapest of our materials. To do that, we need more carite sheets. And to do that, we need iron. We can make one more. Come on now. Alright. What am I doing wrong? Got it. Okay, let's repair our launch thruster. And now charge it with plutonium, and we're probably going to need more. Now we've got our pulse engine. We only need to fix it. We don't need to fuel it because we'll get fuel immediately upon hitting orbit. We need carite sheets, which means we need iron, I believe it is. And iridium. Now, iridium can be a little... and we need zinc. Okay, iridium can be tricky to find. Let's check in here. I don't think we see anything that we don't see when we're not outside of it, as long as we're close enough. We need iridium and carite. Okay, iridium we can mine right ahead of us. Let's run and do that. On the way, we're looking for zinc. We're looking for orange flowers, yellow flowers. I mean, in a way, I hope that these make really good intro videos for those who are just starting out in No Man's Sky. I also hope they help to remind us of the worth and the worthiness in, if we don't have a more interesting name then the atlas given name, the name that is built into the creature, that we go ahead and verify that name. And that is going to help players who come here in the future encounter these worlds without being yanked out of those worlds by names that come from pop culture or internet insults or whatever it may be. It remains to be seen how much of that stuff is going on. But I decided to try these videos after an experience where my own starter world, once I had begun to explore and I had not yet named the other worlds in it, even though I had sort of encountered them. Oh good, a cave. We're going to check that guy out. We're going to not go by this because it will shoot us with spores. We are going to grab some plutonium on the way, always, always, always. And do it through the basic hit and run technique of sort of running through it. Immediately make your way for cover. Not necessary now, but as the sentinels become more aggressive, definitely useful. Okay, we've got a cave, which means we've got cover for gathering, as you can see, a wealth of resources. Let's get in here. So, I had a world that I had started out in and had not, had discovered the worlds but had not yet named them. By the time I got around to naming a couple of the ones I had discovered, one of them was named Selena and the other was named Taylor Swift. And Selena was actually the first, and it did not completely pull me out of the game, but when Taylor Swift showed up, I have to confess, I was really yanked out of the game. I hid the name initially rather than reporting it, but in the end I felt like, what's really needed, what I want to do is explore. I don't necessarily want to pursue a never-ending chase. I want to explore new landscapes. I want to sort of build up my knowledge and my skills as I go, and it'd be nice to be helpful to others and learn lore as we do that. So I decided to do these Let's Play videos in that spirit. And the idea of the Outer Edge is, let's start out. So my theory is that the person who named the world in that system, Taylor Swift, did not find that system on a star map, but rather started out on that world because it's on the Outer Edge, and it's a common starter world. So with that idea in mind, I was like, all right, you know what? Let's try that. Let's try starting out a number of times and doing it in such a way that we can name a few worlds, honor the given lore, make adjustments where needed, but just kind of explore. Okay, that's a good amount of plutonium. Always, always, always use more plutonium. Always use more iron. Caves are good places to do it, because it seems like early on the sentinels go by line of sight and sound. Okay. Carite sheet. You know what, we can't do that there. We need to do it in our suit, I do believe. Come on now. Thank you. Great. Okay, so we've got a lot of iron. You know what, I bet we're too far from our ship. But we're not, okay? Great. It's 2. Good. We need more zinc. We need that heridium. And unfortunately, to get that heridium, we need space. Can we transfer from here? I hope we can. Let's transfer that thamium. Let's go ahead and transfer those sheets. Should give us space for... that's not it. Iridium. Okay. And zinc. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make our way, after grabbing any low-hanging plutonium we can, make our way to the iridium, look for any zinc along the way. Here's our iridium. Sun's coming up. It's always good. So far, not a bad world. Not much water. Oh, it's cold. Interesting. The sun is up and it's cold. Huh. Alright. Well, that's good to know. The cave's keeping us warm. Zinc is not super abundant. Unfortunate. Luckily, we've got a bunch of iridium right here. We've got another cave right there. So here's what we're going to do. And we're going to make a run for it in case the sentinels have seen us. We're going to look for zinc as we go. No sentinels, that's good. Also no zinc, that's bad. Interesting. I'm at the point where I can usually spot zinc from a distance. Let's get ourselves in this cave. And it is a little... Oh, good. We've got a language stone, which means we're going to be able to see... Knowledge stone, rather, which means we're going to be able to see what our language is. And honestly, I'm hoping that it is not Gek, because Gek is the one I have seen the most of so far. Get a fresh page. I've got sheets where I am keeping track of language. Let's see if I can do this without freezing to death. So the words come in order. Let's just grab it and see what we get. Give. Unfortunate. Okay, it's give. Alright. And it's Gek. Gek for give. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, so stabilizing either because we're in the cave or because the sun is rising. Well, it is Gek forgive. I'm not going to write that down because I've got about 300 Gek words at this point. You know, I'm hoping for systems. I'm hoping for Korvax or Viking systems that I have not explored the language or lore of yet. But this one's Gek. And that means the system's Gek. And that's okay. We just won't mess around much with the knowledge stones. Alright, let's take a look where we are. I believe we definitely need zinc. We need iridium. We know where to get it. We don't yet have enough zinc. We only need a little more zinc. Okay. Since the temperature's up, and it looks like it's because the sun came up. Tell you what, since we're down here, and we don't actually want that aluminum at this point because we don't have any space for it. But we will grab a little more plutonium while the getting is good. Oh crud, I hear one of our friends. Wow, really bright here. Okay, let's go for a little more iridium. Shoot, I usually tend to shoot at the base. See what we got. Almost. And carite sheet, and we still need zinc. So zinc's going to be the last thing we need, because here's what we're going to do. Right under this column, we'll just go for it. That'll do it. Zinc's the last thing. Our ship is this way. Okay. We have seen zinc, just not a lot. Don't see much water here. It's a dry environment. When we get to the ship, I am going to look at the descriptors, see if I've written them down. I'm trying to make sort of a comprehensive list of the different descriptors for the different worlds. Alright. Let's scan around nearby our... Ooh, look at that plutonium. Oh my gosh. I actually can't walk by a piece of plutonium like that without wanting to grab it. Same animal, that's good. Okay, we need zinc. Last thing we need. And then we're going to go straight to the space station. Now we should learn some interesting things. We've only cataloged a couple of animals. Actually, let's go ahead and do this. Let's name some of the plants. Great. And what this will do is just set a tone. Whoops. As we register those names, those, coming later, playing the game, they'll encounter a world with names that are in sort of sync with... Oh my, wow. Okay. Sort of in sync with one another. And maybe not even think about it too much until they have thoughts that, that inspire them, rather than thoughts that sort of jar them out of this world through pop culture or through jokes, etc. Escape is important. The world can be a harsh and cruel place, and escape is one way to make the best of it. So, we want to encourage that. Alright, so let's upload our discoveries. And I interpret these to be the names that the Atlas entity gave when it began. Let me check one thing. We have zinc. We have a fair bit of iron. Alright, we've got enough to get started. Good. We do need more zinc to repair. Gotta find it quickly. I say quickly because there's more to do. I'd like to at least land on one more world before we end this session. Plants. It's like a desert. Come on, zinc. 5 more zinc. Keep our eyes peeled for yellow flowers. Harsh environment. Yep, good. Shy is good. Good way for animals to be in our starting worlds. Okay. All right, there we go. I think this might do us. Good. Alright, let's do this. Let's repair. We might be out of range. Oh, alright, we're gonna need a little... You know what? We don't. Alright. I'm not... Okay, so here's the deal. This pulse engine says charge it with Thamium-9. Actually, it says charge with any isotope. Thamium-9 is what we've got right now, but I am going to make a point of not even charging it to start with, so that I can show you something. We will charge up our life support. Oh, unfortunate. We're not going to do it with plutonium, because it's too precious. We could stand a little more plutonium, about as much plutonium as iron, in order to secure our financial prospects through the creation of an artifact that is highly valued, bypass chips. But first, see if we can get a little more plutonium. We can, right here. Nice. Nice chunk of plutonium. Compare it with our iron. Stand then a little more iron, which we can easily get right here. That's a big one. Let's not mess with that one. Oh, weird. Really? Okay. Great. Let's try to grab a little more plutonium from this cave while not losing our way out of the cave. Oh, it's a nice piece right there. And another good exit. Any exit will do. Nope, we're on our way. We're out of here. Okay. I believe we've got everything we need to get. Looking for extra space. We do have quite a bit, actually, in our starship. So let's do one thing here. Let's move over our plutonium, iridium. Darn it, let's use our carbon for that. And our thamium. And let's grab a little bit of platinum while we can, because it's valuable later. Alright, I think this should do us. Take a look. We need to fix our pulse engine, but we don't actually need to, oh, it's not broken. It only needs to be charged. Okay, I think that means we are just fine as far as that goes. And we've got, use more plutonium always. It's alright though. I think we're good. Mining beam is nearly dead, but you know what? We're not going to use this for that because we can use Thamium-9, and we're about to get more Thamium-9 than we can use by going into the air, straight up 90 degrees. For now, not looking back, although we might look back from a height. So it's... I didn't see whether our thruster needed to be repaired and charged. It hasn't been charged yet. There's the landscape, and there are bases. You know, there is activity around, but it doesn't look like there's much water. We had difficulty finding caves. On the plus side, the atmosphere was not out to kill us, and that is no thing to be scoffed at, as we'll probably see. So what we're going to do is get to the space station, and then do a little trading, and possibly go down to one other world to see how the environment is. Okay, can accelerate to a certain extent. I don't need to accelerate much. As we reach orbit, we're going to see asteroids. Quite large, in some case. And all is well. These should be made of Stanium-9. So Thamium-9 is never something we need to worry about, because we can get it from orbit immediately in abundance. And play asteroids while we're at it. Good. Okay, what is this? Okusatusk 7. Let's see what we've got to discover. Orinskiev Prime. You know, let me check something. I'm going to go ahead, just for fun, and mine this guy here. I believe this should be nickel. Copper. Okay, fair enough. Perfect. Let's see if we have any other planets. Saw that one. Hard to tell whether there are others. There's another one. All these undiscovered planets. Several here. So we want to try and hit as many as we can. Name them something approachable, but different from Taylor Swift. Alright, let's see if we can find the space station. There we go. Got our icon. In this case, the space station is floating out in space. Now, let's take a look at something here. This is interesting, actually. I've never actually seen this before. Ship traveling along the trade lanes. presumably, actually down to here. Those do bear some relation to the planet's surface. And it is very good to find trading stations, or trading posts rather, when you can. Plenty of Thamium-9, which means we can charge our mining beam with something that is free as dirt. We could mine up here for a while yet, but we don't want to mess with that. We'll find a faster way to make a little bit of money when we get to the station. I think we're good to go. Let's do it. We have Thamium 9. Well, there's another one traveling the lanes. That's very, very cool. Hadn't seen that before. Let's do a little bit more Thamium 9. Okay, let's do it. Pulse engine offline. We need to fuel it. Let's do it. Check one thing. Make sure we have plenty. Let's get a little more of this stuff. Not that we won't get some when we leave the station, but it just doesn't hurt. Alright, let's do this. Doesn't take long. Jeez, really didn't take long. We're gonna land, and then I'll cut off this episode and we'll start another right after that. And I think this is the only time you get to hear this theme. Your first approach to a station, so enjoy it. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for playing.